Good evening. Good evening. This is Doc Prince, and welcome to Leaders Lounge. I hope you are relaxed. I hope you have your drink in hand. You may want some tea. You may want some OJ. Whatever you might want some coffee. Just grab something, relax. We're going to get started in just a moment. But I want to welcome everyone to Leaders Lounge. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is a podcast that's hosted by Prince Enterprises LLC. Prince Enterprises is given to a threefold strategy. And our strategy is simply to identify your essence, train your actions, and release your purpose as a leader. Glad to have you on. And I'm looking forward to get started and get going with this week's topic. Go ahead and make a comment in the comment section if you'd like. Go ahead and make a comment in the comment section. And you can hashtag Leaders Lounge. All right. So, welcome to Leaders Lounge. Last week, we had an awesome discussion and we had an awesome teaching. Last week, we talked about something very simple. The question was this: are you a leader or are you a manager? That was the conversation. And we realized that managers manage things. And the other thing we learned was leaders manage people. We learned that management can be transactional, right? It can be very impersonal. And we realized that leadership is all about relationship. It's all about investing into the lives of others. It's all about being present. It's all about nurturing. It's all about building up and being a role model and an example, right? It's about servanthood. It's about pouring your life into the lives of others so that they can be the best that they can be. So on the heels of last week's lesson, today's lesson or tonight's lesson, we're going to talk about leadership defined. Everybody say leadership defined. Now, last week, I did give you a definition of leadership, okay? And we're going to review that in just a moment. But I do want to talk about the three principles that we reviewed last week. The three principles that I went over with you last week concerning are you a leader or are you a manager? We discussed principle number one, leadership isn't management. Number two, we discussed managers manage things, right? So they deal with people work for them, but their focus is to focus on metric, is to focus on output, is to focus on production, is to make sure the job gets done, right? And that can be at a job, that can be in a ministry, that could be even in relation to your family, being a parent, right? It can cover all those areas, right? And number three, leaders lead people. Those were the three principles. This week, once again, we're going to discuss leadership defined. So before we do that, let's review from last week the definition that I gave of leadership. And this is by author, leadership coach. His name is Kevin Cruz. And I love this definition. It's such a rich definition because it covers all aspects of leadership. It says leadership is a process of social influence which maximizes the efforts of others towards the achievement of a goal. So this definition covers three main areas. Number one, the first area is leadership is a process of social influence. Right? So it covers that, social influence. The second area, maximizing the efforts of others. And the third area, achievement of a goal, right? So there has to be an outcome as a result to the work or the goal intended. Right? So let's go over principle number one, leadership defined. We're going to break it up into these three principles. Principle number one, leadership stems from social influence, not authority or power. We talked about this last week. A lot of times people think because they have a position, they think because they talk loud, they're strong in their character. They could be a very controlling person. That just may be a character flaw issue, right? But sometimes we look at those aspects of a person's personality or character and we say, wow, they must be a great leader, right? But the definition here is giving us a very specific understanding of what leadership is. Leadership stems, right, from social influence, not authority or power. So it must be based in relationship. It must be based in respect. It must be based in some sense in area of trust, right? In order for me to truly perform or to put out, if I can say it that way, it's important for people to feel valued. It's important for people to know that you care about them. Um, Social influence. You may have the ability to speak to people, and people listen to you, and they listen to you because they believe what you're saying. They understand what you're saying. It touches their heart. All leaders, true leaders, have some sense of social influence where um, they have the ability to influence those in their circle, in their community, in their city, in their state, in their nation, and there are different levels of influence. Okay? So, principle number one, leadership stems from social influence, not authority or power. Not if you don't do this, I'm going to bop you upside the head. Not if you don't do this, you're going to lose your job. Not if you don't do this, there are going to be consequences, and I'm going to show you the next time you're going to do what I told you to do. That's not leadership. That may be management to some extent, but that's not leadership. All right. So, principle number one, once again, leadership stems from social influence, not authority or power. Principle number two, leadership requires the efforts of others through maximization. So, what does this have to do with? In order for people to be effective, right, and in order for people to give 100%, not only do they have to believe in you, not only should there be some level of respect, but check this out. In order for people to put out 100%, it's important for you as a leader to be able to identify what are your strong points, what are your gifts, what are your talents, what are your abilities, what are the things that you bring to the table, what are the things that you have, what are the things that make you you, that if you invest those gifts, talents, abilities, and skills, they're going to move us toward this goal, right? You definitely want to maximize the efforts of others, right? I don't want to do all the work. I want you to be a part of this process, right? And so it becomes a team concept. It becomes team effort. In ministry, sometimes it could be team ministry, right? Whether that's a company, a ministry, or family. The most important thing is working together with people and everybody being on the same page, everybody having the same vision, everybody having the same heart, moving in the same direction. Will there be disagreements? Absolutely. Will there be differences of opinion? Absolutely. But when it comes to fulfilling the mission or the purpose, there should be agreement. There should be unity. There should be this sense of oneness, and that there's a oneness of purpose. There's a oneness in the vision of what it is we're trying to accomplish, and to accomplish those things, that the mission is clear, right? And that brings us to principle number three. Principle number three is leadership achieves an intended goal. When I understand that I have influence as a leader, when I understand that I'm able to maximize the potential of others, those that are following me, those that are on my team, then guess what? Now we can accomplish an intended goal. What is that goal? How are we going to get there? We're going to get there together, but we're going to get there as a team. I need you as much as you need me. And it's my job to make sure I get behind you, I get under you, I come alongside of you, and I support you to be everything that you're supposed to be. Right? That's the most important thing, is for me to be an example of true servanthood. My life is poured into your life to make sure that you can be the best that you can be. And when that happens, that is a direct reflection on my leadership. I'm not a great leader because I'm doing everything, right? What makes leadership great? That I am maximizing the efforts of others, right? We are accomplishing our goal. And all of that happens because of social influence. My ability to communicate to you the importance of where we're trying to go. How are we going to get there? And then to make sure as a team we come together, everybody plays a part, and we get there, right? As we know, the body is made up of several parts, right? Everybody can't be the hand, everybody can't be the foot, everybody can't be the eye, the ear, or the nose, or the mouth, right? But when the body functions together as one man, then we move in purpose. When the body comes together and the body functions in a way where there is unity, there is a unity of purpose, that there is a unity in vision, that there is a unity in mission, guess what? The job gets done. The job is accomplished, right? And we are able to be effective as a team, right? The most important thing is functioning as a team. And in order to reach that goal, guess what? You're not going to do that by yourself. There are people that say, I'm a self-made man. There are people that say, hey, I did this all by myself. Let me tell you something. There's nothing in life that you're ever going to do by yourself. You may be responsible in the sense of this process I had to go through by myself, right? But in the sense of achieving certain goals, I promise you, whether it was a book you read, whether it was a quote that you heard, whether it was a best friend or somebody that said, hey man, keep going, you can do this. There's always someone along our path and in our path to encourage us along the way, right? So let's go through our points again. I want to talk about these principles. What is leadership defined? Principle number one, leadership stems from social influence, not authority or power. Number two, leadership requires the efforts of others through maximization. I see your gifts and talents, and I want to make sure they are being used to the optimum. And number three, leadership achieves an intended goal. There you have it. Those are our three principles for this week. All right. And of course, as we always do, I'm going to give you a chance to raise your glass, go ahead and take a drink. I love orange juice, just in case you all didn't know. All right. We're going to go to the comment section real quick and just see really, really quick. We're not going to be here long. Oh, I love this. I love this. All right. I have a comment here. Brian Tolbert. Hello, Brian Tolbert. I love you. I love you. And I appreciate you so much. This is a good friend of mine. He is a wonderful, wonderful friend, brother. As we like to say, son in the Lord. He is just an awesome, awesome, awesome man of God. And he says, you better get out of my spirit. Well, we're connected. So I guess I'm all in your spirit, and I guess you're all in mine. I feel you at times. I can feel you. I know what you're thinking. I know how you're vibing, right? But the most important thing, Brian, thank you for your comment. The most important thing, Brian, is realizing that we have to function as a team. I think leadership so many times is defined as an individual as opposed to a person that is set in a place to be a motivator, to be an encourager, to give direction, to give guidance. And I'll even use a what I call a spiritual term or a ministry term, right? Sometimes to even be a shepherd, right? So to provide some sense of guidance, right? It's not about the big eye. It's not about you being the superstar. It's about you supporting the cast. It's about you being the director. It's about you being the producer and getting behind other people. And as other people become successful in their efforts, that's where you, as a leader, that is how your leadership is recognized, by putting your energy and your efforts into the life of other people. Does that make sense? Awesome. As always, I love to say this, we're not going to be long. So that's the teaching for today. What I'd like to do is just kind of give you some updates here. Let me go here. If this is your first time watching the broadcast, I'm going to encourage you, please make sure that you complete our Media Partners Questionnaire on Facebook. What's the Media Partners Questionnaire? As you're watching these programs, I want to know, were you affected by this? Did it benefit you? If so, I want to know how, right? I want to know if this content is working for you, if it's helping you. Tell me. I want to know. That's important for me, because that way I can measure my effectiveness as a leader, right? Let me know if it's touching you, if it's impacting you, if it's causing your thinking to change, if it's elevating you, if you're motivated, if you're ready to walk out of here and say, you know what, I can do this thing. This is some good information, right? Complete our Media Partners Questionnaire on our Facebook page. That is at DPE LLC on Facebook. It's going to be under Prince Enterprises LLC. But if you go to Facebook and just type in at DPE LLC, it should come right up. You might, if you're on the video, the link should be right there on the video. You should be able to access it, open it. And if this is your first time, go ahead and fill out that form. If you've already filled it out, you don't have to do it again. You only have to do it one time, right? And then if you're interested in leadership training sessions, right? You may say, I would like more of this on a personal basis, right? I'd like to do something privately. Go ahead and message me on Facebook. I would love to meet with you. I would love to get with you and set up a session, and I will give you the rate, let you know that what that would cost, and we'll get you squared away. If there's a group, if it's a business, if it is an organization, a nonprofit, if it's a church, you want to be a part, you want to take some classes, you want to take some courses, you want to do some workshops, you want me to come and speak, just let me know. Same thing. Go to Prince Enterprises on Facebook at DPE LLC. Message me and let me know what you need, and I will work out a group rate for you. I'm open and I'm very flexible to whatever it is you want to do. Someone may be asking, well, that's really cool. Okay, how do you set up? How would I do payment? Right, very simple. Everything is set up on Cash App. So the easiest way to do it, even if we talk over the phone, you could always send your funds to Cash App at, once again, $DPE LLC and then in your note area, just write in Prince Enterprises LLC. That's what it's for tax purposes. All right, and that way I'll have all your information. Okay. Thank you for watching tonight. Thank you so much for being on. And before I go, I'm going to go to one more comment, and let's see. I think Brian made another comment. He says, yes, sir. Always good food here. Brian, I appreciate you. Thank you for the input. I think so also. Very good food. It's important for us to grow. It's important for us to increase. All right. It's important for us to always be in a space where we want to grow, we want to change, and we want to be stretched, right? We want to be challenged a little bit. Prince Enterprises LLC, our strategy and purpose. What is it that we want to do? We want to identify your essence. We want to train you in your actions. And of course, we want to release you in your purpose, right? So everyone that has it, go ahead and raise your glass. And as I always do, I want to salute you, and let's go ahead. You can have a drink on me. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. God bless you, and you guys have a great, awesome evening.